Now we're back to goal B with the people. Greater involvement at all levels in conservation of Pawi and its habitat, strong link between conservation of the species and sustainable livelihoods. The four main things that we all highlighted when we were at Carney. One is we need to improve networking. We have so many people here working on Pawi, but we don't always know what everybody's doing, and sometimes we're doing the same thing and we're using more money than we need to because we could have all gotten together, that kind of thing. We all know that we need to improve our networking and our coordination as groups involved in Pawi conservation. We need to conduct awareness raising programs. Again, we know education is a huge thing. In every conservation aspect, you need to kind of let people know what's going on out there. And we want to aim at the general public, school children, even tourists. Because in a lot of cases, tourists might be supportive of what we're doing, even though they're not here all the time. We want to promote rural livelihoods that meet local needs and don't damage the ability of Pawi to survive or the habitats that these Pawi need. And that's something I think communities are going to have to play a great part in because they know what they need, they know what they have, they know what their resources are. And that we need to get involved in because we need to find a way to make those things happen for them, happen for us. We want to increase private sector awareness about the significance of food. Primarily because they will have the funds to help us out. Hopefully they will fund some of this. And also because a lot of their work may be affecting Pawi habitat. And when they realize that, they have the choice, the ability to change the way they're doing things and hopefully change the way they're affecting these birds and this habitat in a more positive way. Okay, so we're going to go through these. Okay, that's okay. So we all said we need a coordination body. It can't be one person coordinating, it needs to be a body. There are many different ways we could put this body together. We can get one person from each group, we can get a whole new group forming. There are many ways to do this, and we need to come together and find out what will work best for this group of groups. What kind of system will give each group the benefit it needs and still be benefiting Pawi conservation. And I think that's something we really need to talk about because we don't want to get into a situation where there's miscommunication and so on. And then we need to find the most realistic way of working as a group with this new coordination body. In terms of getting resources, and then we say here we want to make sure we sign necessary terms of reference or memorandums of agreement. Basically, we all agree on how this thing is working out. We need to set up and publicize a place for people to bring their Pawi sightings and information in because a lot of people, they will go up, they go to Grand River, they see a Pawi, they go to Brasso-Seco, they see a Pawi, they go home and we never hear about it. And it might be something really exciting and they don't know where to put this information on that anybody wants it. And we need to establish a place for all our Pawi information to go. It should not be the only place, but there should be a place that we put these books and papers and pictures and videos and whatever. And hopefully we'll duplicate that. So if wildlife has a library that has these things in it, we'll probably make sure Grand River has as well in case something happens with the settlers and wildlife. So we'll have it duplicated. So it's there for people to use. And the fact that you have a set of this information just means that you are keeping it for the group of all of us. It's not yours, and you help share it out and that kind of thing. Okay, so those are the things we want to do to coordinate us. Have a place for our stuff, our information, be able to get information from people, and get a coordinating body. And I really think this is one of the first things we really need to do because it will help us move forward. Because in a group of groups like this, where we have a lot of other things we're doing, I mean, the turtles and whales and nature centers and forests, it's easy for us not to be able to keep going with Pawi conservation because we have a lot of other responsibilities. So I think we need to talk about this a lot more. Awareness raising programs. We want to focus on schools, mainly primary schools, mainly schools in the areas that there are Pawi or that we suspect there will be Pawi. I know this has been done, and I know it keeps being done, but I think it's important that it does keep happening in those areas because school children move from one class to the next and you'll be getting new people. And then we need to have a nationwide program, which I think is going to be a big planning affair for us to have to do. I know everybody here does education, and I know a lot of people have had success in educating people about Pawi and about turtles and about the environment, and a lot of this education has been very successful. So I think when we find a way to coordinate this, we can really make an impression. Promote rural livelihoods that meet local needs. We know that some communities are doing well in this. They have rural livelihoods that meet their needs, conserve the Pawi. They probably would like to tweak those things, improve, but they are on the way there. There are other communities where it's a little more difficult, maybe because of the resources they have or the way things are set up. But what we want to do is make a model approach to community management. So it's the approach that should hopefully work for different communities. It needs to be flexible and it needs to be realistic, and it needs to be transferable from one community to the next. And I think that needs a lot of thought, and it probably needs a lot of trial and error. But it will probably help a lot of communities. And then increase private sector awareness. Okay, so private sector companies, right now there's a trend where people, they have corporate and social responsibility. They are seen to have responsibilities for society. And we want to look at what the trends are. What are companies out there focusing on for their social responsibilities and their corporate responsibilities, and kind of pitch those ideas of Pawi conservation as one of those responsibilities they have, or forest conservation or environmental management, and see if we can market this, market conservation and so on as one of their responsibilities. And hopefully they'll partner with us, they'll fund us, and that kind of thing. Right. Okay, so that's the plan, presentation. I know it's a lot of information, and I know you saw it last a very long time ago. But do take some time to look through it in your booklets, and take some time to let it soak in. Okay, so we back to our vision. So that plan should help us increase our sense of pride in Pawi, lead to a non-threatened Pawi with flourishing, sustainable populations, and directly involve and benefit local, national, and international communities if we follow through with it. So we need to move ahead. This is the end of my presentation, but hopefully it's not the end of this action we're having with these plans. I think some of the main things we need to do is we need to know what's already been done. We do know parts of what different groups have been doing, but I would like, maybe after you all go back home and you look over the report and you kind of say, oh, we've been doing this, we've been doing that, if you can just compile what you've done already, what you've accomplished already, and send it back to me, and I will send it back to everybody so everybody will know what's been done and what you're doing at the moment related to Pawi. So we know where we are, and we can kind of say, all right, well, when we look at this plan, we've done this already, we're halfway in something here, we've just begun here, and there are 5 different groups doing this, so they may want to talk. So at least we can catch up on that. And we need to agree on a way forward, which I think is a different meeting from this. But we would need to agree on a date for that meeting, and I'll contact everybody and see when you would like to meet on that. Talking about what we were referring to before about this body, a coordinating body, and what different groups want from it. And